Okay, I'm going to read this story to you now. Now, you should be quite familiar with it because you've been doing activities all about Jack and the Beanstalk. It's a very old fairy tale. It's very well known, maybe when you're not 3 or 4, but you should know it very well now. Okay, so there's lots of different variations of it. So this one might be a little bit different to the one that you have seen earlier on in the week, but it's still the same concept and it's still familiar. So I'm going to read it to you now, and I've got something to show you afterwards that I'd like you to do as well at home as an activity. So, Jack and the Beanstalk, and it's illustrated, doesn't have a writer because, as I said, it's a really old fairy tale story, but it's illustrated by somebody, now bear with me, called Giuseppe Di Linea. Okay, so hopefully I've said that name right. Okay, Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, a boy called Jack lived with his mother in a little cottage. They were very poor and only had the milk from their cow to drink. One day, the cow stopped giving milk. "Oh, we need money for food," said Jack's mother. "Take our cow to the market and sell her." No, they need money to buy food. Jack set off to the market. On the way, he met an old man who wanted to buy the cow. There he is. "Oh, I'll pay you with these magic beans," said the man. "They will grow up to the sky." "Oh, okay," said Jack. He took the beans and gave his cow to the man. Oh dear, don't think his mummy's very happy. Look at that face. When Jack's mother found out what he had done, she was very upset. "You sold our cow for a handful of beans," she cried, flinging them out of the window. That night, Jack fell asleep feeling very unhappy. Outside, rain fell on the enchanted beans. Something magical is going to happen. The next morning, Jack saw that an enormous beanstalk had grown where the beans had fallen. Jack dashed outside. The towering beanstalk stretched up through the clouds. Where does it go? He wondered. Where does it go? Without giving it a second thought, Jack started to climb the beanstalk. He climbed higher and higher until the cottage was far below. Oh, it's all the way down there, the cottage. And Jack's all the way at the beanstalk. Above the clouds, Jack found a gigantic castle. He tiptoed into the dining room. "I wonder who lives here," he whispered. There on a huge table was a bag of shiny golden coins. Ooh. Suddenly, the ground began to shake. Jack heard heavy footsteps. Thump, thump, thump. Jack ran and hid. An enormous giant appeared. His nose. He twitched his nose and sniffed. "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Oh dear, not a happy giant. The giant looked around, but he couldn't see Jack. He sat down and gobbled up his food. Soon he fell fast asleep. Jack crept out from his hiding place. He grabbed the big bag of gold coins and ran. Before long, he was climbing back down the beanstalk. Oh dear. Jack and his mother were rich, but they spent too much and soon the gold coins ran out. So Jack climbed back up the beanstalk to the castle.
Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman,
said the giant as he stroked a hen that laid eggs of gold. Just as before, the giant could not find Jack, so he gobbled up his food and fell asleep. Jack grabbed the hen and climbed back down the beanstalk. The gold eggs made Jack and his mother rich again. Jack wanted more. He climbed back up the beanstalk to the castle. Oh dear, that's a bit greedy, isn't it? He wanted more. Jack found the giant dozing while a golden harp played sweet music.
Fee, fi, fo, fum,
muttered the giant in his sleep. There he is, fast asleep, listening to the lovely music from the harp. Jack snatched the golden harp, but it shrieked, "Master, master!" The giant leapt up. He chased Jack all the way down the beanstalk.
Fee, fi, fo, fum,
roared the angry giant as he climbed down the beanstalk after Jack. "Mother, fetch an axe!" shouted Jack. When he reached the ground with a chop, 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 he cut the beanstalk down. It fell with a terrible crash, and that was the end of the angry giant. Jack and his mother kept the hen that laid gold eggs and the golden harp that played sweet music. They lived happily ever after and never saw the angry giant again. The end. And there they are in the cottage, rich and happy. Okay, so that's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Now, we are wondering in nursery if you could make your own beanstalk. Now, you've done it out of a tower. You've made a tower using blocks and toilet rolls and different things. They've been brilliant. I've loved seeing them. Some of them are ginormous. Now, this time we're going to do it on a bit of a smaller scale. You could use something like, you could use a bit of dry pasta, something straight. I've got a pipe cleaner here, or a bit of ribbon, a bit of string, anything really. I'm going to use some Play-Doh just to stick it, wrap it round on the table like this. See if I can get it right. There we go. So there we go. There is my beanstalk, and I'm going to thread. You've got a thread now. I've got pasta, or you could use Cheerio, something to thread on there to make your beanstalk. Now, I don't think I can do this with one. Oh, yes, I can. One hand. Might be a bit slow, so I'm just going to show you that one there. Okay, so that's one part of my beanstalk. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to thread. This is really good for your fingers. It's very good. It helps with our writing. We call it in nursery funky fingers. We do activities like this to help our finger muscles. So we're going to be excellent writers when we get a bit older. So this is like early writing, really. I'm going to thread all of my pasta. Again, it could be anything that you thread on here. If you've got beads or like I said, Cheerios, pasta I'm using, anything you've got around the house really.
Oh, it's a bit of a wonky beanstalk now.
Let's see if I can count how many pasta shells I got on my beanstalk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pasta shells on my beanstalk. And we're going to count with my fingers now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. High five for 5. And one more. 6. How many things can you thread onto your beanstalk? Can't wait to find out.